Cody, great to have you. It's been a while since we've chatted. I think last time we saw each other was Blading Cup. Is that right?
Yep. In real life.
Yeah, we
I've
talked a
seen
little
you in
bit. Yeah,
seen you in fake life like this. So
this is very true. This is a good opportunity for me to get to know you a little bit better. So I think every time we've met, it was more skate related, like what's going on at the
mhm.
event, what's going on in the situation right now. But I've been a fan of yours for many years. I think I first reached out to you, 3 years ago, maybe
Ish. Yeah.
ish,
Good memory.
about some wheels. Maybe I wanted
It's
you to
50-50
try.
frames.
Yeah, I wanted you to try some frames and wheels setup or something like that. I don't remember
hmm
what that was all about. Um,
Ben was really nice about me, and then you reached out and were also really nice.
that
And I'm
was.
still here. That's why I'm still writing your stuff, is because you're one of the few like
I,
industry people that it's upfront and nice.
you
So
know, it's.
shout out to
I
Lawrence.
appreciate that. I'm not begging for compliments, but it personal gesture. It goes a long way. I hear that a lot actually. Whenever I send out orders, I have a little. I mean, you've probably seen the sticker sheets that I send out, and then I
hmm
always write a little note on the other side. Sometimes it's just the generic, thanks for the support. If I don't know the person, but I get repeat customers, and it's always nice to, just thank them for doing what they do. And I think that it makes a difference. Like it's not a fulfillment center here. Like we personally touch all of the orders going out, so it's nice to
hmm
have a nice relationship with everybody. Um,
Yeah.
First time I saw you, um, I think was I think you were skating Seba's, and
hmm
you were making a video about the hell was it? Was it topsoils maybe? Because I
Oh,
was
you saw my tutorial
Yeah,
video.
tutorial videos. Because I have always struggled with topside tricks. I come from that era where like royales were the big new trick, and like I kind of peaked, I think, from my stance perspective at royales. Like I could definitely get royales back in the days. I was never able to do back royales, but I can now. But just doing front royales because the feeling is so different. Um, and I felt like you kind of captured that vibe really well, um, as opposed to the classic Brian Aragon. How do you do a royale? You just skate really fast at the ledge, you jump as a royale, and you jump off. like that's not really a tutorial, you know
That's
what I
not a
mean?
tutorial. And that's how they've always all been done.
Yeah,
Even
yeah, yeah,
back to
yeah.
Daily Bread when
Oh
they
yeah,
would describe things. It was like, here's the 5 steps to doing an
yeah,
alley fish brain. And there's so many
yeah,
more than five.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
You approach the object at moderate speed. Like that's just the classic setup for any
yeah.
trick tutorial.
And one of five like points is now gone.
Yeah,
You can't get that point back. We knew we were going to approach at moderate
yeah,
speed. We're scared.
yeah,
It's new.
yeah.
I can really rant about this,
Well,
but
so the goal of this series, so this trying to start a new thing where we talk a little bit about um, the people behind the scenes. I've always been the guy behind the scenes, and as another video maker, as another voice in the industry, um, I want to take some time and take all of that apart. Like, I want to hear about what you think about trick tutorials. What do the people do wrong? What's your stance about it? What was, uh, as a skater who was learning? I mean, I don't even know when you started. I don't know when you started skating and what the climate was like back then. Like, imagine, you growing up now, like as a Brandon Drummond style skater who comes from the forward porn star generation, right? Where they can see that this is a easy trick and everybody's doing it. It's like no, no, no. Like I come from the generation that you can't do a forward porn star. Like a porn star has to be done alley oop or zero spin or reverse, right? Um, Things have changed a lot. Um,
mhm.
when did you start skating? Have you ever been on a podcast talking about? I feel like you have,
Yeah,
but
yeah. Well, so I was on True Spin podcast years and years
yeah,
ago,
with Steve,
which
right?
doesn't exist anymore.
Right, right, right.
So, anyways, to answer the question, 1998, I saw the
Okay.
movie Brink,
Nice.
and
Okay.
I called my dad immediately, and I was like, "Dad, bring over your size 13 Blade Runners. I'm going to town tomorrow."
Sick.
So
Brink.
uh, started skating with like size 13 Walmart, like the black and purple ones,
Yeah.
classic.
Yes.
And yeah, that was what got me into it, was Disney.
Were you
Weird.
in Texas at the time? You're in Texas now.
Yeah, I'm from deep East Texas.
Okay.
So I lived in a small town. I grew up skating the five same spots over and over and over again.
Got it. I think we all did. I mean, which was funny, growing up in Alameda, which was in the Bay Area, Northern California, like home of all the spots. First 2 years, all we did was skate the same ledge. Like, I think there was a curve and there was a ledge, and that's all we skated because we never left the city. Um, it wasn't until we got adventurous and started going to San Jose or San Francisco or
Wow.
places like that that we actually skated spots. Like, it was all just, we didn't know any better,
I
you
didn't
know?
know you were a California guy.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. So grew up in Bay Area, Alameda. I went to college in San Jose, and then moved down to Southern California when I
Huh.
started doing Fitty Fitty with Jess and Ted. And
That's crazy.
yeah, yeah. So born
We,
and raised.
weird memory
Hmm.
thing just hit me. My very first Daily Bread, I think it was August 2000, Tat and
Okay.
Sue doing a disaster fish band on the cover, and you have an industry profile in it, I think.
Oh well, there you go.
I'm pretty sure you and
Me and Jess,
Jess
right?
did.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and it was on
That's
the same
awesome.
page as the dude who had his finger ripped off from like holding mute grab too long or something like that. It was
That
disgusting.
that is a thing that almost happened to me a couple of years ago. I was
Were
skating
you wearing a
those.
ring?
I was not wearing a ring, but it
Okay.
was a metal K2 R100 frame, which has the little breathe holes on the inside.
Oh.
And I did a safety grab, and my finger
Mm-hmm.
got stuck in one of the holes. And I was like, oh shit,
Scary.
shit, shit. Pulled it out quickly, cut myself, but didn't lose my finger, thankfully.
Yeah. And that's why you made compass frames with no
Yeah,
holes.
no
So
holes here for no fingers to get cut. Um, yes, so born and raised in California. Um, Grew up in an era before Brink. Our videos were Daily Bread or Dare to Air, and The Hoax, I think, had just come out. So very, very early days. But for you, at least you had like maybe the skates weren't the right skates for what you wanted to do, but you had a video that you could watch. Were you able? I mean, this is before DVRs, probably. Did you?
so
How'd you watch it?
so I can definitely answer this question.
Yeah,
It came on, like, obviously it just came on TV live,
yeah,
and I didn't know I was about to see something that changed the next
yeah,
almost 30 years of my life, which
yeah,
is
yeah,
weird.
yeah.
Um, but after that, like I would pay attention to ASAs.
Mm-hmm.
Like that was on TV, and I had a VHS, so I would just tape it, like a
Right.
VCR,
Yeah,
whatever,
yeah, yeah.
and you would tape it, and I would just watch ASAs over and over. I didn't have a video until, like I just said, that first issue of Daily Bread I had.
Right.
I got that. I mailed in the subscription thing, and
Yeah.
Daily Bread sent me Transcend, my very first video.
Oh, sick.
Transcend came out in '98. I got it in the year 2000, so I was already like
Yeah.
2 years behind.
Sure, sure, sure.
And I didn't even have aggressives until the year 2000 either. So my
Wow.
actual, like, kind of skating that I do didn't really start till 2000. But I
Got
could
it.
360 gaps. I
Sick.
just couldn't grind at all.
Were you
Which,
at all experienced with skating before this, or was it just brink and
no,
like wheels on feet? I'm gonna be that guy.
1998, I
Yep.
saw that movie, and I put on like recreational skates for 2 years. I had like Bowers and like hockey skates and
Sure.
every other kind of hand me down except for what I actually needed. Because my
Right.
parents thought it was a fad. They're like, "No,
Of
you're
course.
not. You've only done it 1 year. You're not going to do it more than that." And
Right.
I
Right.
did
Right.
did it for two. Looking back on it, it was kind of a blessing because it taught me how to skate
Yes.
instead of just do grinds, which is what I wanted to do the
Absolutely.
whole time. So I got good. Like I could like 540 before I could grind, and
Wow.
like I could like med spin, and I could do all these like ground
Right.
moves and spin moves, but I couldn't grind, and I'm pretty thankful for that.
I think it's it's rare nowadays, right?
Hmm.
We do get some transition from fitness or people that know how to skate and they want to try grinding. I get emails about that every now and then. Um, but because of, well, I mean, I love to hear what you think about it, but I think because of the technology, it's really easy to get yourself a pair of Aeons. And you've
Hmm.
got this huge sole with a huge split and a flat setup, and you can do whatever you see on Instagram, right? There's no learning, like there's no prerequisites anymore. And unfortunately, I see people like that um, after they hit the skate park and they get hurt, or
Yeah.
especially a back to blader who hasn't skated in a while and still has that 13-year-old mindset that I'm going to huck it, and they come back to me and they're like, hey, love the videos. I can't skate anymore because I broke my arm and my wife won't. You know what I mean? It's like the whole I'm I'm too big for my britches. I don't know if that's
Yeah.
that's a saying in this state, but there's there's so much. You could do whatever you want nowadays because I think technology and access to skate parks and all of that enables this whatever you put your mind to you can accomplish. When we started, maybe because there was no option, and for you didn't have an option. It was just skating. Yeah, I mean, we would skate. The reason we went to those spots was because they were local to us. I think I had a car. Maybe I had a car, but I didn't want to drive everybody. So, and there were too many people to like. Our little community had like 6 or 7 people, so it was too much to to put in the car. So we would skate everywhere. And to your point, that made us really good at riding stairs and doing wall rides and skating backwards. Like all these things that when you see people skating transition nowadays, you can see who can't skate and who can do
Yeah.
rails and ledges, right?
That's why you need to vocalize the importance of it. So, hello, everyone. If you're listening to this and you're happen to watching this podcast, you should just go skate around the block. If you're brand new, like just get
Man,
used to jumping up curbs and rolling fakie, and like even stair bash is pretty important.
yeah,
Especially if you intend to grind down things, it's good to know
yeah,
how to land on these things,
no
stairs
doubt,
in this case, without dying,
no
because you
doubt.
will probably fall.
Yeah,
I've fallen. I've done it.
we all fall. I think it's yeah, it's like they always teach falling in gymnastics, or they teach
Mhm.
how to absorb punches and stuff in karate or whatever. Um, I think there's no reason you shouldn't learn how to skate forward, backwards, do spins, do stairs, because you got to prepare for that inevitability that you're going to get hurt, you're going to fall down. Did
Yep.
you ever get really injured when you were that age, like at that age, that learning
Tiny?
things
Like when I
out?
was a
Yeah,
teenager?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Like when you started
Um,
skating.
I mean, I never broke anything,
Mm,
but I've always been pretty like slow to advance,
right.
which is why I'm still not very good. But I was just I knew my limit, and I was like, all right, I don't want to push this until I have a camera
Sure.
or a reason to do it. So I never really got that hurt growing up. I was like, like I'd get cut and I'd
Sure.
jump a gap and like I hurt my wrist and I'd hit my head every so often and
Mm-hmm.
things like that because that's just what you do.
Right.
But nothing crazy. I didn't get like super mega hurt until I was 18 and I was ready to, I was like, I'm going to get put on, I'm going to get sponsored. And
Sick.
then you start getting really worked.
Did you, so,
By the way, that didn't work for a very long time.
yes, it is a long road. So when you were trying to get out there and skate at a higher level, what skates were you on? Like, what was your setup back then?
um, I thought USD was so sick.
Hmm.
Like growing up, everyone did. Like Stretch Crew, all
Oh
that.
yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah, yeah.
that was like what tiny me emulated. I was like, I want to do cool looking true top soyals and skate thrones, and
Mm-hmm.
the USD tour video like definitely had an impact on me,
Mm-hmm.
more so than I probably realized, due to the kind of content I like making, which is just me and the boys
Mm-hmm.
partying.
Mm-hmm.
Because if no one remembers that video, go watch it. It's just the
It's
old
yeah,
school USD team in a van going around the country, just being young 20s
being
and
hoodlums. Yeah.
acting like young 20s would, with a bunch of money in a van. So, um, I forgot the question. Oh yeah.
Setup.
So what was I said?
Were you on
Skating. I was skating
Thrones?
thrones.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but like I still didn't have any money. I was broke for a very long time
Sure.
because I didn't want to work. I just wanted to skate. And newsflash, everyone. Turns out if you actually work harder and have money, you can get a lot more done more quickly, because you'll actually have skates that are good because you can afford them, and you can go to events and meet people, which apparently you need to do, instead of just being broke in your hometown, just filming every week. Like, it doesn't make
it's
any sense. So
it's
don't be
true.
afraid to work, everyone. I was.
Yeah. Stability.
Um, but yeah, it was just like every hand me down throne I could get my hands on. That was when I was
And
skating.
did you even think about gear? It was just what the
No,
guys were skating in the videos, and that's what you wanted. No
I
other
don't
reason for it.
I don't think a lot of people thought
No.
about gear until way more recently,
Yeah, I think
like the
so.
past decade.
Yeah.
Like the past 10 years, okay, yeah, we get it. Like, oh, well, you got to have different hardness of wheels, like
Right.
dependent on, no, 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 no.
Right.
As a kid, no, take the middle wheels out.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there's nothing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, and whatever, like whatever anyone would give me is what I would ride. And that was how it was. Um,
Did
so there we
you
go.
did you keep skating from that time? Like
I've
you're
never
not
quit.
you're not 18 anymore. Uh, so you continued skating for the next 10, 15, 30, 40 years, however old you are.
Yeah, since
Yeah,
1998, I've never stopped.
that's awesome.
Even whenever I had like longer term injuries and stuff, I
Right,
still, like, I made jumbo. I couldn't
right.
skate at all, and I was
Yeah,
like, well, I don't want to leave. Like,
yeah,
I'm not
yeah,
gonna
yeah.
quit. I'm still gonna come out the sessions. I'll just film, like,
That's right.
until I got myself back in order. And now I don't know, feel like I'm 29 again. I feel pretty good.
You're skating really well. I mean that.
Thanks.
When was it? 6 months ago or so. That topsoul on that big ass 30 stair, like almost like a coping
Oh, the red
handrail.
rail.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, that was lame. I just put my skates on and like just topsoiled it first try for fun.
Yeah, fun.
And
It's fun.
I had a clip of it, and I was like, "Oh, it's cool. I always want to skate this rail." And I posted that, and then I wanted to go back and do something like rad on it,
Right.
and they just recapped it. So
Oh, did they really?
bummer. Yeah.
I mean,
Oh well.
I'm glad the boys got to skate it when
Yeah.
they did, but
Yeah. Your team came and crushed it,
yeah,
so that's good.
yeah.
Um.
Somebody had fun on it. Michael
Yeah.
did. Everybody had fun.
It looks, dude. It looks so easy,
Yeah.
and it's actually a lot faster in person.
Okay.
There's little caps in the middle of it. Like, the people that uncapped it, the caps weren't normal. The caps were like giant, like square things, like up.
Oh
So
no.
whenever the people uncapped it, they came there with a saw and just went, "Arr,"
Right.
and
Right.
there's like jagged edges sticking up. So like,
Oh. Put
so
your
if you're doing
hand
like
down.
a
You're gonna slice your
if
hand, right?
if you're doing a macchio, you're fine. But if you're
Right.
doing a sole and your front foot's on top,
Right.
you'll catch it
Oh my god.
and die.
Yeah.
And the ground isn't chill. It's that like the gravel ground where you'll cut yourself
Sure.
up. Anyways, I'm just saying, if y'all have seen anyone get clips on that red rail, just know there's danger. You're in constant danger.
I mean, it didn't look it didn't look scary.
No,
That's why
I
I
know.
was so excited about it, because that's the sort of like mellow sort of rail that I like. I
Hmm.
haven't skated many rails, especially in a long time, but that's the sort of from afar rail that I would love. There's a little bit of catch if you lean over too much and you're like, oh, okay, I could just slide down on my bum, like totally cool. But now it sounds like you'd slice your ass open
Yeah,
if
you
you did.
gotta watch out for
Yeah.
sure. But you could do it. I mean, I think everyone could do it, like a soul grind on it. Like
Sure.
you'll survive that, but like, and I don't know. Anyways, yeah, I don't know. It doesn't matter. It's gone forever now, so I don't
Gone
think it'll be
forever.
uncapped.
Well, R.I.P. You did mention Jumbo. So I remember watching your stuff before it was Jumbo, and I remember your introduction to Jumbo, and not really knowing what the hell you were on, like what that was all about. Um, Especially as like I started watching your stuff when you were the tutorial guy, and it was a really refreshing take on tutorials. I felt like there were a few that were more prescriptive, right? This is where my body weight is. I think you were on a coping box doing top soles, and you had somebody else skating with you doing top soles because
Anthony.
it was Anthony. Yeah, yeah. It was for me at the time. I was just grasping for straws on how to get this because I had top soles when I was a kid. I actually did a top sole on the Bauer box at the 1995 NIS in San
Hmm.
Francisco. And it was left foot top sole. I do right foot soles. And I was like, this is fine. I was able to do them on ledges, no problem. And then I had a fall, which I'm sure everybody does when they overcommit on a top sole, they slide out a little bit and then go straight to your hands. And it was a fairly tall ledge. And since then, I'd been unable to do top soles at all. So I've been looking for tutorials. I was looking for tutorials on it, and I saw yours. I saw Josh Acosta's, and I think there were some others that were just jump on and jump off. And I'm like, okay, well, that doesn't really get into any of the methodology I'm looking for. I felt that yours was really interesting, and it might not have been this one, but your tutorials had a very like why we do it this way vibe to it. Like it wasn't just the generic your feet go in this position and you jump off. It's like why do you do it like this? And why does what was it mistrial? It was a mistrial video that you did, I think, right? And it's
Mm-hmm.
like why do your feet need to be touching? And it's like it's the same trick if they're not. If you boil it down to front foot being on the underside of the outside of your skate, the back foot being on the backside of the outside edge of your skate, it's a mistrial, right? That's the foot position. But there's an asterisk to that, which is feet must be touching. And I thought that you were like, it was super interesting for me because I agree with a lot of this. And this is, I used to be an ASA judge. Things that you get, scoring on like style, and it's like hard to describe because you can't really explain what style is. You just know it when you see it. There was a really good uh, bit in Hoax 2 where they talked about style, and there's that. You've seen Hoax 2 by now, right? That was after your
Mm-hmm.
time, but before your time. But there's that bit where Brian Smith is doing that soul grind and that the white pants and the yellow shirt with the brace, and he's like standing completely straight up doing the soul grind on that 20 stair or whatever.
Yeah.
And you got to make things look good. And to me, you explaining why a mistrial needs to look like this, why your feet need to be together, was something that I'd never been able to vocalize. Maybe because of I don't know, imposter syndrome, that I never had the confidence to be able to say that this is the way that it should be. Because I'm an average skater, like I'm fully admitting of that. But you said it, and I thought that it got a lot of respect, and it had a lot of comments that were in the supportive tone. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
What
Well,
made you do that? Like that's takes some guts. Like
to to I have to say this, or else I'll forget to say it.
yeah,
As part as the a part of the imposter syndrome thing that you just said,
mm,
some of the best boxing coaches weren't the best boxers.
mm,
So that doesn't matter. If you understand something fully,
mm-hmm,
then by all means define it or
mm-hmm,
whatever.
mm-hmm.
Like do your thing. As for oh god, I'm gonna maybe sound mean, and that's fine.
It's just us.
Uh no, it's the whole internet, and I don't care if they hear it either. Because I I guess maybe three things go into this. One,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
I already told you as a kid, I was like, I want to come up, I want to get put on. with that, I was like really analyzing skating. Like, what is it that's good? What is it
Mm-hmm.
that people gravitate to? How are they filming? Like, I was doing all this from a young age, so it's kind of weird whenever you say, "I didn't hear about you till you were already a grandpa."
Mm-hmm.
Well, okay, well, that's a
Yeah.
bummer. That's all
Yeah.
right. I'm gonna survive. Secondly, I come from maybe the meanest crew of all time, which is like the boys I skate with. Been skating with them forever. And if you didn't, in this case, like sync up a mistrial, you'll
Mm-hmm.
get clowned on like for the rest of the day. Like we do
Sure.
that for every trick and every little thing, just giving each other a hard time. But it's because if you're going to do something, do it well, if possible.
Mm-hmm.
And that's always been the standard, like pun intended, because I'm with you. So, um, thirdly, I got on YouTube and I was like, what the hell is up with all these like terrible,
Mm-hmm.
not terrible, just like tutorials that either are filmed poorly or the person doing it isn't doing it the way I would think to explain it. And since I had already like bought this camera and I
Mm-hmm.
had this idea to do something new, I was like, well, let's just clean this up first because I have the knowledge in my head about I think I understand this to a fine degree and I want to see if I can put it on paper in a way that no one ever has.
Got it.
And write down the unwritten rules and then show it to the masses because if you don't know, you'll never learn.
Right.
And there's a lot of people that skate alone because there's not a lot of rollerbladers.
Right.
And if you don't have homies there to grow with and to learn with, well, I'll be that homie on the internet.
Yeah. There you go.
So, and I guess that's the short reason.
It's a good reason. I think that the magazines used to fill a lot of that void where you wouldn't get in Daily Bread if your mistrials weren't locked, right?
Yeah.
Like it had to look the way that it looks because Angie would always say, like, Daily Bread has to be accurate because people are using this as their point of reference. Like, it's the Bible. And
Yeah.
that isn't something that we have anymore. Especially in an Instagram world where there are thousands of posts a day having random tricks in different styles. Who's to say what's right? And
Hmm.
you can. I was going to make a quad analogy, but I don't want to go that direction. But I have a very like it's a complicated stance where I feel like if you're having fun, you should go have fun, and it doesn't matter,
Hmm.
you know. But there's a right way and a wrong way to do things. So if you're having fun, go do your royales. If you want to do a proper royale, bend your effing knees and get boot
Yeah.
down. You know, like I don't care what you do because you're out there having fun. And end of the day, I want more people to go skate. But I feel like you have vocalized what I'm thinking, and I'm sure there's a lot of other people out there thinking that way. There is a right way to do it. Tom Moise would have that video with the violations and everything, and it got a huge response. Not only because Tom's hilarious, but because he says things that we were all kind of thinking, but nobody would talk about. Rolling topsides, perfect example. Like, how much shit do people get for posting any clip with them rolling a topside? It is the big
They
thing.
don't get any shit at all, hardly, because
Well,
everyone's too soft to be the bad guy.
Clark would agree with that. I think Clark. Have you met Clark? I'm sure you've met
Yes,
Clark. Yeah,
I like Clark.
yeah. You and Clark would get along. There is, and you should definitely try to get yourself up to the compound. Um, there is a code of conduct, and that includes no rolling topsides. And you could roll your topsides if you're learning. I was learning topsides at the compound, and I rolled my topsides. And you get better, and you get better. I wouldn't post that clip unless it's a progression of me or a me saying, "Hey, I'm learning this. I can't seem to figure this out." Either ask for
Mm.
help or say, I because I am not a great skater, I like to post clips showing my process of learning. And I feel like a lot of people get inspiration from that and say, oh, I've been there. This is what I did. Or I've seen your videos and I know that it's okay to suck, you know? And I
Yeah.
don't take it
Also,
personal, right? But
oh man.
yeah.
Okay. Oh gosh. Um, super important to show newcomers how to fall. And if you're
Mm,
showing your progress video and you're brand new to skating and you don't know what this is going to feel like,
right.
watching someone else try swing and a miss, like that's
Yeah, yeah.
golden to someone
Absolutely.
that is afraid to learn. Um, as for defining things, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you're brand new and you're just going to come into skating and skirt around, then yeah, come on in. Don't even think about the rules. Just have a great time. We're
Yep.
happy you're here. If you like it so much that you're going to keep doing it and you want to learn about it, it's wonderful that we've given these shapes like a definition. Like here is exactly what a soul grind is. And if you leave our bubble
Mm-hmm.
of what we've defined a soul grind to be, you're no longer doing it. So first step,
Mm-hmm.
come on in. Second step, if you want to stick around, learn our ways. It's okay for us to have certain like rules because with those rules we can talk to one another and understand one another.
Mm-hmm.
Like I know you did a mistrial and not a Mizu because you know to slap that down
Right.
and get booed. You know, like that's okay. It's okay
Right.
to do that. Otherwise, if we're too scared to tell each other what something is and isn't, then you don't really have anything. You just have a bunch of people screwing around, running around, putting their feet in weird shapes. Like there's no community and like culture behind that. You can't grow that way. So end rant.
It's fair.
I'd love to go to the compound, and that's
Yes.
great. That's great that he's he's got the instructions on the walls.
Yes.
We'll
Yeah.
kick you out if you roll a topside.
There's the there's no pee in our pool where you talk about we don't roll our top size. We make sure that we get boot down on royales, all that stuff. There isn't actually a chart, but there
That's
should be.
really weird that Clark Kirkman of all people would have that like kind of mentality. If you look at the faction team, hello faction team, that's right.
I mean,
Some of you guys do weird stuff.
they all do weird stuff. You're absolutely right about that. I would say, and I don't want to speak for Clark, I would say that Clark knows what he likes. And there is a right, and I've had conversations with him about it. There is a right way and a wrong way to do tricks. And to his credit, there's a right way and a wrong way to learn how to do tricks.
Mm-hmm.
And he is by far the best teacher that I've had, if you could have a teacher in this crazy thing.
That's really cool.
Explaining how I saw him explaining to Hood Panda how to do 360 soul. So the left spin to left soul.
Yeah.
And he was able to lock it. And then Clark put his skates on and was doing it with him. And it's like, that's wild.
I
Like,
would love to see Clark Kirkman do like a hard spin soul.
I probably
I've
have
never
a
seen him
clip.
skate in real life.
Really?
No, he doesn't skate when I see him.
We've got to get to the compound. Then we got to get you out there.
All right.
That's a great
bad
video
at
series,
ramps,
right?
but
Yeah. Well, there's the street area too. I spend most of the time in the street area.
okay.
You've seen my compound videos, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
No? Yeah.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I try. I keep up.
Great street area. The down ledge is really fun, really fast, challenging. There's a kinked ledge that I've never done that I'd love to try when I feel better. Fast down rail that looks amazing
That
that I
I'm
will
not
never
gonna
try.
skate.
But yeah, it's got everything. I don't know if they're going to do another event. They did one. Angie Bender did one 2 years ago, I think, which was a Grindsgiving event, and it was a lot of fun. They had probably 100 people show up.
Wow.
And
To a backyard. That's way
to a
too many
backyard.
people in the backyard.
But it's a big yard. I'll say it
Okay.
is a big yard. Anywho, love Clark. He is like-minded. He will tell us what needs to be done and how a trick is proper. Would agree. There is a lot of flexibility on that faction team. I mean that as a defining tricks and a positions that you can get your body into.
Yeah.
I
I was just
think
giving him a hard time. I'm just kidding, Faction Team. Don't
no, no,
worry.
no. I think it opens a good question. So, I mean, you've got your local Michael Kraft who misses a lot of his tricks fairly
Yeah.
regularly, and then posts clips of it and is like getting likes for missing a trick.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I love it. Like, I feel like we're at a point in rollerblading where the tricks are so well defined thanks to people like you that we know what they should look like, but that doesn't mean we have to stop there. And B, we aren't taking ourselves too seriously anymore. Some of us are, but we aren't taking ourselves so seriously that we can't explore different tricks. We can't do big wheel tricks between aggressive tricks. Like, there's
Mm-hmm.
been a movement, and I would say in the last 3 years, maybe 4 years, of this welcoming of thoughts and ideas and trying new stuff. It got bad in the 2000s where it was very, this is the way it has to be, and this is the way you have to dress, and these are the skates you have to have. And I feel like a lot of people didn't fit into that mold and got the hell out. Now, especially with all of these people getting back into it, it is open arms. It is, you want to go out and skate, you go have a good time. I'm really interested to hear what you think about that. Like, where's where's it going? Like, is this just a blip on the radar, like power blading, or is this like
Power blading wasn't a blip on the radar, like at all.
that was tongue in cheek.
I mean, like the term definitely was, but there were a few different companies and brands that
Yeah.
made it okay to have big wheels.
Yes.
And I think the ground control big frames really brought it into aggressive.
No doubt.
And then obviously the power blade was the gateway drug. So um, as for what the future looks like, there's really one example. Like there's one pro that's I think knocking it out of the park,
Hmm.
but they're doing it so early on, it hasn't really caught up yet to
Mm-hmm.
where the standard will be in the future, and that's Michael Witzman.
Oh yeah.
He has his own YouTube channel where he talks about things like how you and I are talking about it,
Mm-hmm.
so you
Mm-hmm.
can follow along. Follow my skate journey. He has that, so he's dialing the personality aspect. And as for integrating new style of skating into like rollerblading, his last part, he
Mm-hmm.
was full grinder blader. And then out of nowhere, he had animation in his video where his wheels went from small to big. Then he did a bunch of weird, wacky wizard stuff.
Yep. Yep.
And then it ended with him like combining both of them. And it's like future skating. Like he's dialing classic sections in. He's using those classic sections to like advance how it is we can do aggressive skating
Mm-hmm.
and blending it with that wizard culture. And then on top of it all, he's nailing the social media and the YouTube game. Like he's like checking every new box
Oh yeah.
and doing it well. And it'll take off. It might take some time to grow, but like I like what he's doing. That's the future to me, what it looks like right now. Might
Yeah.
change.
I agree with that. Uh, Incredible skater. I, as a guy that does YouTubing, always love to see when pros have a YouTube channel. I feel like it's a it's a disservice to just post to Instagram. There
Mm-hmm.
are so many skaters who won't see you on Instagram that need to see how amazing skating can be. YouTube is where skate teams dump their edits because it's easier to distribute, and it's where old guys do skate reviews like me.
For right now.
Yeah.
For right now, I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
that'll
yeah.
change.
I totally
want
agree.
it to change.
It needs to, and it did. So when I started, it was Joey and Todd, it was Rollerblade, and it was Frankie, and those were the three buckets of skating on YouTube, and that's it. And this was 2017, 2018. And when I came on it was at the same time as Lino came on, and we took a different stance. Lino became more of a YouTuber personality, right?
Yeah.
Doing the things and like trying the new skates and going to events and doing the tours. Like he is his own like world on his YouTube channel. My stance was all my personal journey, and it was vlog style, and it was, this is what I'm skating this week, here's my current setup, here's what I'm going to try. And over the years it got better and better at it. I think there was always a lack of that middle where it's not this super polished video that is like Fever Dream, our standard edit dropping on a YouTube channel, and it's not me going to my local skate park trying to learn Switch Soul. There's that first person that I saw do it right was Nils, that pro skater who is amazing at skating but is also personable, who can
Mm-hmm.
also make a video that isn't an polished edit, but it's good enough that it's engaging, that there's personality, and the skating is top notch. And I think Michael Weitzman's one of the best. First one that I saw was Nils. Uh, Eisler did some back in the days
Yeah.
too. Out and About, I think, was his thing. I don't know what his
I don't
series
know.
was called, but yeah, he did a few of them also, where he went out and did those. I love that. We're at an era where everybody's seen the tricks. I don't want to see another edit with just tricks. I want to see what people are all about. Um, and to segue to y'all, um, one of the things I love about your videos is its personality. It's
Mm-hmm.
what your local sessions are like. I hear a lot of people, and I picked up on making my videos early on. I don't do follow cam, I don't do anything like that. It's a static angle, and I leave it and I record, and then I come talk to it, and then I leave it and record and come talk to it. And my mindset was always, I'm going to bring you to my session and you're going to sit and watch while I try to do these things. You are inviting somebody on the ride for the day, for the weekend, for the trip or whatever. And you get to see what you all are all about. Like, I
Yeah.
absolutely love it. And that was so lacking before you brought Jumbo to YouTube. What was like? What was the motivation to do that? Like, because it hadn't been, as far as I know, it hadn't been done. I mean, maybe the USD tour video, right?
I mean, that was it though. That was one video 20 years ago that
Mm-hmm.
no one would even think of nowadays because
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think a lot of rollerbladers are new. So why go watch all these random obscure old videos at 144p on YouTube? Like why do
Yes.
that? Don't do
Yes.
that. Um,
Bad.
what started? Okay, man. So I'd already had this idea for a while, and I naturally film nonsense. Like I have old edits I made where it's like I was filming with a cell phone, and I still made something that like it looks like how I would make a jumbo now. It's weird. Like, anyways, I bought a BMX bike a few years ago, and I was like, I'm just, I'm going to learn some simple tricks because it just sounds like fun. Like, I just want to, like, if I can do a few grinds, I'm happy.
Mhm.
And I got on YouTube, and I didn't know what to do. And I started like trying to look up things to learn how to do this.
Mhm.
And while I was searching for things that either didn't exist or finding the help I needed, it was making me look at skating with that same lens. I was like, okay, if
Mhm.
I'm searching for this as a newcomer to this sport, people are probably also searching for it in our own,
It's very smart.
which it helps me like want to do tutorials that way. It made me like I haven't made a lot of setup videos, but whenever I talk about people's setups,
Mhm.
I want to go into full detail as to not just what you're writing, but why you decided to write it that way. Because some people would want to, if you're brand new, you don't know.
Yeah.
And if you could find that video and figure it out, that's a like a little golden nugget
Mhm.
that you didn't have prior. So starting trying to do that is what got me here. And I found a couple of the BMX YouTubers that did something sort of like what I do,
Hmm.
but I can't replicate what they do well enough to totally copy
Sure,
it. So
sure.
I'm giving like a, you know, a handicapped version of it, but I'm trying my best. It is what it is.
What is what is cool about what they do that you don't think you can do yet? Like, is it a technology thing?
Oh,
Is it second cameras? Is it?
yeah, production value. That's it.
Got it.
I'm just one guy. I got one camera, and
Right,
like, if I brought in two cameras and I had another guy filming,
right.
one, that's way more work for me to do,
Yes, yeah.
and then two, it might make it less fun and more
Mm-hmm.
complicated. And if this becomes complicated and awful, I won't do it
Mm-hmm.
because I like that it's fun and silly and it's a cute way to spend my
Totally.
weekend with the boys. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
so that's been my goal all along has been like, remember how it felt when you were new
Mm-hmm.
and document that. Don't try to get too big for your britches. Don't try to make this too pro or too anything.
Mm-hmm.
Just stay stay low, stay humble, and just go out there and laugh. And don't be afraid to post it. And don't worry
Mm-hmm.
about it. Oh, I need to do it this way. It needs to be polished. I need to be sick on camera. Like, just don't think about it. Be normal.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I do. So I might hit a ceiling because of that, but that's fine.
Well, I think there's always going to be people who want to be who want to belong, right? Who want to be part of the group. And we live in a world that's digital, and that sucks, you know. A lot of people don't have, even if they would if they could, they don't have a local skate park with a Thursday night skate. They don't have anybody who skates within an hour drive.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the reality of what we've got. You're inviting those people to your private session. And I know that it's not like a, you know, you have I'm sure you don't, maybe you do have a secret handshake, but it's
No.
not one of the, okay, well, fine. Ruin my day. Um, it's not one of those things that you publicize on a Facebook group, I would imagine. It's
Oh,
a group.
you can't have 100 cars roll up to a street session.
That's
You
right.
can't do it.
Yeah,
You got to stay low key.
exactly. So you are giving them exclusive access to you and what you're up to this weekend. And you just so happen to have awesome friends who love to skate, and they're hilarious. Like, it's not just going out there and skating, it's a cast of characters. Like, you've got some really
Yeah.
interesting guys that skate, and girls that skate with your crew. Um, I think it's extremely unique. I would love to have done something like that, and I've done some edits with groups before, but I don't know if you know this, but most rollerbladers are really bad in front of the camera.
I do know this.
Like, they cannot come up with words to save their lives, and they're typically very like, I don't want to be in front of the camera. I don't want to be near the camera. I just want to skate. And it's
Hmm.
like, that does not make good YouTube, you know?
It takes a few sessions to get used to. My friends didn't like it at first either. They were definitely like, geez, oh my God, I can't think, get it away from me. And now they're used to me like getting in their face. I have to remember that when I know most rollerbladers are bad at this because when I go to events,
Mm-hmm.
I forget that I'm just shoving a camera in some stranger's face sometimes,
Right.
and they're not used to it. And I don't remember it until I'm filming them.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
they're like, oh God, who are you? Like, so I've
No
gotten
doubt.
used to now going up to people and actually asking them for permission. And some people say no, and that's fine. I'm like, okay, yeah, no
Right.
worries. I'll talk to you like a normal human instead of monetizing our friendship. Um, which is what I'm doing.
I,
So
I mean, I would take it years back. I would think that this lack of personality in front of a camera is one of the things that contributed to us being kicked out of the X Games. So if you
You
think
can't
back,
tell
if
an
you think
18-year-old like on ESPN
no,
to play the part. You just didn't
that's
know
exactly
yet.
it. So that's exactly it. Who did we have back at the peak of the X Games, right? We had Aaron Feinberg, who didn't give a fuck.
No.
We had Takeshi and Eito, who barely spoke any English. And it's like, how do you put them in front of the camera when skateboarding has Tony Hawk and
Yeah.
BMX has Matt Hoffman? And
Adults.
yeah, adults, exactly. It's a sport for. They would put Arlo in there, but he was an announcer. They would put Chris Edwards in there, but Chris Edwards, like
The
it's.
monster. You
But
put the monster in
but
there.
Jaron wasn't even a good speaker back then. I mean, he didn't. He also didn't give a fuck at all. We didn't have that, and I feel like that could have been like. And say what you will about Tony Hawk, but dude can market, and he knows what he's worth, and brings that version of Tony Hawk whenever there is a camera in front of him, and he realizes that that's the version that people will see. I think you're hitting on that. Going to an industry event or going to a session, they don't see that as through the same eyes that you do, that this is going to live forever. Like, I could see, saying no, but it's like, when you do, you've got to bring it. And it's like, when the camera's on, and it's silly to say, but, I could be honest about that sort of stuff around here. It's different than filming for an edit. People who are great skaters might not necessarily have the best personalities and can represent blading. And we never really had that back in the days. We didn't have that person who could do that. I can't think of any of those skaters back then who would really like hold a conversation. And I knew everybody pretty well. It was just because we were all so young and inexperienced. We never had that opportunity to grow.
Well, you don't know until someone shows you. So
That's
maybe
exactly it. Yeah.
if we ever get back into any big action sport thing, now we know. Don't
Well,
be a loser on camera. Be
yeah.
fun.
And now I think it's okay. Like, I would say that there was a blip with Brian Aragon. He was pretty good on camera, and he was doing the
too
ASA
late.
stuff. Yeah, but it was
Too late.
Yeah, agreed.
Happy
Be Free is great. Happy is great. Yeah, that's a good one. But yeah, we never had that. I do think that Michael Weitzman could be that guy. I think Nils does a pretty good job as well.
Be Free, if his new Bridges project hits and people like, if he keeps doing it and people keep watching him, people love Be Free. Like people that don't even skate, like, grandmas love Be Free. Everybody's out here loving him. So if he can keep his project up, like, take over, man.
Yeah.
Like, please, Lord, do it. Like, we need someone like him.
In that same vein, the weekend that Be Free was here in North Carolina, doing a thing, I'm assuming, for Montre, I forgot all about Montre. Montre had a YouTube channel that he had for a hot minute, maybe 2 months, and he did a few edits. And they were exactly what I was hoping a Montre YouTube channel would be. He would go to a spot, he would talk about it, he would talk about his day, he would say what clips he's trying to get, he would get the clips, like the whole personality coming through. I was here for that. It's a lot of work, though.
It's a lot of work. That's the problem. And that's why no one keeps going.
Yeah.
It's because you just start staring into the distance like, how long am I going to do this pointless thing that no one's asking me to do?
Precisely. And there's no money in it. I mean, AdWords is bringing in, at most. I think my biggest AdWords check was when I was posting weekly, plus I had Gear Talk every other week, and I was making maybe $200 to $300 a month, which is insane for
the skating, amount of work.
Yeah, skating every weekend, plus 4 hours of Gear Talk, plus the back catalog, right? And this was boom COVID times, so we had so many people doing searches for Blade Runner reviews, which I'm sure was the main bulk of where all of my money came from. But I mean, Imagine that. Like, you're putting all of this time and energy into it. I mean, you don't have to imagine it. You do it. What's
Hmm.
the what? Like, why? Why do you spend the time? For me, I can do it because I can see a direct relationship between me skating a skate and then me seeing sales of a skate afterwards, or a wheel or frame or something like that. What's your what gets you motivated to go out and do this at the session?
Well, originally it was because I was hurt and I wanted to be involved in skating, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, you could do that any types of way. I chose this specific route because it was something that we didn't have. And I wanted to bring it. I wanted to show it. And through showing people like why skating is fun
Mm-hmm.
and giving them this different experience, you can also, tell people why. Like, why are we trying to do it this specific way? Like, you can show people how skating is and give them more background into what it is we do and why we do it this way. That's part of my reason. And also, it's just kind of fun. It's funny to make. And I wanted to try something new. I keep doing it now because people have told me they like it.
Mm-hmm.
And like that actually does motivate me to keep going because there are some Sundays where it's like 2 a.m. I have to go to work on Monday. I'm
Mm-hmm.
still editing and I'm like, yo, what are you doing, dog? Like this is
Yeah.
not worth what you're doing. Um, but I don't know. At this point, it's a habit and it's a project, and it's a project I want to kind of see like steadily improve if I can. Um, Now it doesn't feel like work because I'm
Mm-hmm.
used to it. So I
Mm-hmm.
just want to keep going. I don't know. I kind of want to see how this started as kind of a joke. Like Jumbo is a stupid name, and
Okay.
it's an inside joke. Like it means jump over it. Like I did all this kind of for fun, and it's turning into something I didn't imagine it to do. So now I just want to push it and see where we can go. Like
Yeah.
how far? Like I didn't expect to do products. I didn't expect to do a line of wheels.
Yeah.
Um, like now, like what's the next like thing we can do? Like how big can it get? I don't know. Like
I
let's
mean,
see.
you've got enough fans, and again, I think because you open yourself up to everyone, there is no requirements. You don't have to have X amount of core points to enter. Like, anybody is welcome at the Jumbo channel, and you make that really clear. Everybody is your friend, and the
Hmm.
funny enough, it shouldn't be strange, but I've met most of your crew in person now, and they're all exactly as you would see them in the videos. Like, I
Yeah,
don't think anybody, unless they're putting it on for me and they put it on for the whole weekend at Bleeding Cup or at Winter Clash, they're just that sort of person. Want truly love rollerblading, want everybody to come out and skate, and just like talking shit. And that's
yeah,
basically it. And it's like, that is the recipe for a really great crew. Like, go out and skate and have fun on the weekends, but it's also a really great video concept. um, Capturing that, putting that all together into something that you can watch in the comfort of your home. I mean, again, I think you really nailed something there.
I'm gonna try and do some like real content soon. I'm actually working on a project with my friend Mick right now, Mick Sals,
Oh, nice. Yeah, yeah.
and like, can I tell you something that bugs me, Lawrence?
Yeah, of
And
course.
everyone listening, this bugs me.
Yeah, yeah.
I do a lot of work, like a lot of film work, and a lot of it is just kind of me, like going, "Hey, what's up? Do something funny." Like
Sure.
I have the ability to do something good, and I think I've filmed a few parts that are sick. Like my Heath Burley section is cool.
Yeah,
I think I
yeah.
did a good job,
I think so
and
too.
I'm not seen as a videographer because
Right.
most of my
Oh, that's
content is
interesting.
me just joking around.
Yeah,
And
that's very interesting.
this year, I want to do at least 3 or 4 projects where people are like, "Dang, that was sick." Like I'd like to maybe be on one of those lists one day where people are like, that guy can film and edit. That's my big goal this year. That's
It
my
is.
my moonshot. Like, just take me seriously. A little
Is
bit.
do you think this is? I totally get that, and you're absolutely right.
I'm gonna keep the nonsense. I'm gonna keep
Yeah,
filming
yeah,
all
yeah.
the
Of course.
tomfoolery, but also like, here's something that I can do that looks good. That's my goal.
Do you think that because you're a YouTuber, there is a negative connotation there? Like with
I'm
the,
not a YouTuber.
but
I'm just as much of a YouTuber
I
as
know,
everyone else that
I
posts on
I
YouTube.
know that's exactly that.
Every company.
Is that a thing? Like, is it frowned upon by the tastemakers who make those lists at the end of the year that you post on YouTube? Like, do you think it would be accepted as the wrong word, but like, I don't know. Like
So
if you just posted little reels every now and then on Instagram, would that get the same? Like if you broke down your, this is a thought experiment, right? If you
this
broke
is
down
fine.
your 10-15 minute edit of your outing when you go to a local spot
Hmm.
into 3 posts, condensed posts on Instagram with like each
Well, I do
spot.
that.
But if that's all that you posted, would that get the same? Would you still have the same? Like,
So no.
you see
In
where I'm
your
getting, right?
example, no,
It's
I do exactly. I see what you're getting at, and the answer to that question is no. It
hmm,
wouldn't get the same recognition, but that's because when I'm filming for the streets,
hmm,
I'm not filming the good angle.
right,
I'm filming
right,
where is
exactly.
everyone around me at. I'm
Yeah,
gonna film the spot from shoulder to shoulder with my boys. So whenever they do
yep,
something, I can pan over and get you know, the yada doll and film.
totally.
Um, so whenever I film a part, it's separate from for the streets most of the time,
Hmm.
and I'm actually filming like a normal person in the place where the trick will be well defined. I
Got
want
it,
to try and do both this year if possible.
got it.
And that's the little incremental growth I'm trying to do. So we'll see. I got something I'm gonna do with Michael. I got something I'm gonna do with Mick. I got a
Nice.
couple of events I want to go to. Um, when's Crowder Power? Do you know?
Yeah, April, middle of April. I don't remember the
Okay.
date.
Okay. That's soon
Yeah,
enough and far enough away for
yeah,
it to be feasible.
definitely come out. Great
So
event,
that could be
and
fun.
yeah, it's a good lifestyle event. Everybody just having a good time.
Mhm.
Skating is secondary. It's really just a day that everybody hangs out, um, listens to some music, checks out some products, does some skating, watches events. Like it is a really really great weekend.
Hey, if I could do Crowder and then the Metro card in New York,
Mm-hmm.
and then maybe, and this is a reach, but that London jam looks pretty fun.
Oh yeah,
Like go and just do one little trip far away. That'd be pretty fun.
that
I
would be
like
great.
The London scene. They're
And
fun.
flying, I don't know the dates, but flying from New York to London would be really easy.
Hmm.
I would imagine flying from Austin to London is a little bit more time
It's not that bad.
consuming.
It's $500. Ain't that big of a
Just the
deal.
amount
So,
of time investment. I mean, yeah, it's not a huge
oh
deal.
well, whatever. Traveling overseas is worth it.
It is worth it, absolutely. Interesting about the YouTuber thing, because I do remember there is definitely in skateboarding there is a anti-YouTuber sentiment.
Uh huh.
I don't know where that lies with rollerblading, but
Well, we get to pick. We don't have to be the
that's
same.
right. Yeah, I think it's different. I think it's exactly. I think it's different. Um, the fact that Tom Moyes does his end of the year videos, and I mean even Joey Mushroom Blading does their end of the year videos. Um, they've kind of taken over. Like we don't have. I don't think one did theirs this year.
They're
Um,
going to.
are they?
So they did the voting, and then I think it was on the Back to Blading Slack.
Was it
Lawrence, you should be
really?
reading this.
I try.
No,
You move
they
so
posted
fast.
screenshots of the years prior and when their releases were announced, and it was like in February or something.
Oh,
So
okay.
one's just a little late, is all.
Got it.
But I
Okay.
mean, it makes sense. You got a lot of people. You want to make it like you want to present it the right way,
You got to let the year end. You can't, you know,
and then on top of that, just like what you were saying, no one's asking anyone to do anything. So
that's
you
right.
don't have that push to hurry up.
No, you don't. You don't. I'm the divide between old media and new media interests me. If
Hmm.
there is the handoff from one, which was a print magazine turned digital, whatever you want to call it,
It's back to
that
print.
still does print, but you know what I mean. Like, primarily, I think people get the one information, more of it from Facebook or wherever they end up putting their content, versus a YouTube channel or an Instagram, which I think there's a lot of overlap with. Um,
Yeah.
I'm genuinely curious as we transition. Is YouTube that odd man out? Because skating is primary. I mean, Standard has a YouTube channel, but we don't have a Facebook page. We have a
Well, that's
website.
old.
But
That's
yeah,
dead.
that's exactly right. Like
It's like having a
Instagram,
MySpace.
precisely. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Instagram is that place where people get their content now, especially skating
Okay.
related content. And I'm
I
curious if that's has
I
any
have
bearing on YouTube.
I
Like, where
have
does that
a I have
overlap?
a full complete thought on this.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Here's how I view it all, right?
Yes.
And this is so important. Like I hope like companies realize this soon. Yes, when social media was new, it was good to have supplemental things that you could post as like a daily reminder. Hey, we exist. Our company exists. It can't be the only thing that's important because there's no
Hmm.
substance and there's no depth to something that you post on like a social media app that's going to get erased in a day. Not erased, but like no one's got it's
Memory
very
hold.
rare that
Yeah,
people click on a profile.
yeah,
You just look at the feed and you're done.
yeah,
You look at it while you're on the toilet. Like that's where you want people to view your content. That's it.
yeah.
That's all. I think Instagram should be viewed as a trailer for more substantive work that's going to
Hmm.
be on YouTube because everyone's a YouTuber now. I don't care who you are. If you want your stuff to be seen, Vimeo's gone. It
Yeah,
does not work that way anymore.
yeah.
You're posting on YouTube, and we're going to finding it via social media, but your audience is really going to invest their time and energy into learning about whatever it is you're going to give them
Hmm.
on YouTube. And as things move along and things like TikTok get banned, or, just like how we migrated from Facebook to Instagram, we'll migrate to something different later.
Hmm.
Just be up on the trends. But no, social media, we know its place now. And it's quick and it's thoughtless and it's there for an immediate quick click and you'll never retain it. We do retain things that are more long form. So use it while we got it because
Hmm.
one day YouTube might not be here either. And we'll be on to the next one. So right now, this is where we communicate. This is where we learn about skating, and this is where we show people what it is and can be.
I think that's good. I
End
think the
rant.
discoverability too. So YouTube does a great job of promoting things, recommending things in
Hmm.
your feed, like your watch next, sidebar or whatever. That should never be undervalued. We You can see when a new skate drops and there's a bunch of reviews for it. You can see there are recommended videos, and you find videos. I shouldn't even say YouTubers. You find videos that are related very easily. Um, I I mean, I remember when the 908s came out, and I don't know if I was the first or I was one of the first to post, but you would see 3 or 4 related videos with 908 reviews.
Hmm.
That audience, I so the there might be just a different, and I'd be curious to hear what you think about this. The audience for that video who wants to watch a skate review might be a different audience than we've had in the past. The old style was drop the full edit on Vimeo, and maybe they would post it on roller news. Like, I don't know where they would discover that the
Hmm.
edit was posted on Vimeo, but now I agree that some sort of a link in bio style link from Instagram to a full edit on YouTube. We actually have experimented with doing that and posting the full edit on Instagram as well. So we give the user the choice to watch whatever. It's a different post, and it's in addition to a trailer. So a trailer is a
Hmm.
30-second at most compressed, typically vertical edited
Yeah.
version, right? The full video would be landscape, it would be widescreen, it would be designed for a lean back experience, not a lean on the toilet experience, because it would be a 3+ minute video. That is a good way to discover it. And I wonder if people who are watching on YouTube who stumble upon a how to soul grind tutorial will then get fed, you know, a jumbo video, or get fed, like how do they find that content? And is that is there a way that you can, I guess, I don't know, like what is the benefit of doing that? Like, is the content, is that user going to watch that content? Like, what are they looking for? Because with Instagram, you're usually in feeds, and there's intent. So people are looking for your content because they subscribe to you. I don't
Hmm.
go to the discovery pane very often, and usually when I do, it's a couple of skates and then some girl dancing in their bikini, right? And it's
It's a
like
lot of
this,
that.
yeah,
Let's not
this,
lie.
yeah, this is not. Shit you not, on the standard. Is it the standard one? One of my accounts, business account, never looked at any videos. I only follow the team skaters. It is skate, 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 girl in bikini dancing. And it's like, is that really like, have I done any, I mean, how is that a recommended thing? With Instagram, you launch your Instagram app and you're typically looking at content from people who you have followed, whether it's in stories, whether it's in feed. And that can push you over to YouTube. With YouTube, I don't know that subscriptions work the way that they used to. I don't think anybody starts in a subscriptions tab. They kind of end up on the home screen, which, if a content creator that you've subscribed to has something new that's getting good views, maybe it will show up in that,
Mhm.
first three, first six board. But if somebody is finding your content, like, how can we expand that? Like, do you have any thoughts around how we can get more people to
So,
find it?
if your original question was like, how do they find more after they found you?
Yeah, yeah.
Um, I link them all together. So if you're finding me on
Mm,
YouTube and you're seeing my boys on film, I put their name and their Instagram like at.
sure.
So, all right, you think like my homie Caleb is sick, so you go find him on Instagram.
Hmm.
Well, now he's posting and he's linking the other things
There you
he's
go.
skating, Like I do that with all my stuff just because I talk to like a lot of newcomers as is
Hmm.
because of the videos I posted. I get people, they message me, ask me questions, it's fine. Um, but just because I've gotten asked so many questions, I'm posting links to as
Hmm.
here's my skates, here's my frames, here's what I'm riding. And now you can go down that rabbit hole and find these other people,
Right,
and then just the list goes on. If you have an interest, you will find your answer. And the more all of us put into the pot,
right.
don't be afraid of being a YouTuber because you're going to be posting there anyways. Just if you have an idea, you should do it because there aren't a lot of us as is.
Hmm.
And the more people we have working towards like creating their project, the better it is for everyone. Even if it feels goofy or awkward or you're bad at it, you should probably just try it because you'll probably get better at it. And what? We're doing this for how long are we doing this? Is it important to you? Treat it like it's important to you.
Yeah,
Do something good. Have fun.
I do think
Projects are fun.
descriptions and meta tags and what is it? Post roll. What are they called? when they have the links at the end, like the videos that
Oh,
show up,
yeah, yeah.
thumbnails, but it's not. Um,
Cards.
yes, whatever, ending cards, whatever it's called.
Hmm.
Um, I don't think that people spend as much time as they should curating that stuff and making sure that your description has information that can be valuable to the person who's watching it. Because, again, most people who are watching your videos aren't coming directly to your video from the link. They're not clicking a link
Hmm.
to watch the video. They're watching it either in a Facebook feed that somebody shared, or they're watching it because it showed up in a recommended somewhere
Right.
in their YouTube. So they are completely out of context coming to your video, knowing that audience, just like you with the BMX, putting yourself in that mindset. What if I were in this world coming in, trying to figure out what's going on? I haven't seen rollerblading in years, and here's a jumbo video of a bunch of guys going out rollerblading. What would I want to know next? Like, what would I want to watch next? Like, is it a tutorial? Is it a link to the skaters? Is it a profile of one of the skaters? I think that
That's
sort of
actually
stuff helps.
that's why I like like I like what you do, because
Mm,
you were approachable. You do that with Back to Blading. You do it
mm,
with Gear Talk. I didn't realize I was just describing what you're doing until
mm.
right now. Like finding a place where people can come learn about the setups and things. Like you already do that. Oh, that's funny.
I
Good job.
well, I wasn't. I wasn't. It wasn't a leading question trying to get there. I don't know that I agree, but uh, yeah, I mean, Ben and I did the podcast for many years. We still do. But the podcast was a capture of links. So each of the podcast descriptions has a long list of links of all of the topics that we discussed. And
Mm.
you're able to find all of that information. So if you're looking for what the UFS thrones looked like, if you're looking for, what a Deshi skate option was, like what the cardboard skates versus the carbons, like you can hear us talking about it and then click the link to get to it. I think that adding more metadata is super important because nobody
Mm.
else is going to be able to find that stuff, especially as the web kind of goes either behind paywalls or falls off and you have to use Internet Archive for things. I'm really curious how YouTube works though, and what the future of, I'm always looking at ways that we can get more skaters into it. I think you're apt comparing Instagram to the public message board, and then YouTube where people sit back and actually consume, So Instagram is like, boom, boom, okay, I'm going to see what's going on. And then you save some stuff for later when you can actually sit down and focus. That's where a long form YouTube video runs in. I'd love to get better at, and I feel like you're in the same mentality, same mindset, get better at bringing those YouTube viewers into whatever's next, into the industry, into following their favorite skaters, into learning more about events happening. Like, I think I don't know, there's something
No,
there, and
you're
we
you're
have the
nailing it.
tools, right?
We're almost there, and we don't have the
Yeah,
people that care enough to do the hard job.
yeah.
There
I
was
think
one
that's probably
dude
it.
that did a pretty good job, Ben Sanders,
Oh
no
yeah,
relation.
hell yeah.
He was on live every day. He
Yep,
was building that like community and audience. He was showing people all the new stuff that came out because he knew where to find it.
yep,
And he even went to a bitter cold and live streamed it.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
And no one told him to. He just did it. And that was a great benefit that I think people didn't realize how good it was until it was gone.
yeah.
And sure, like you were saying, some people don't want to be seen as YouTubers or whatever. But in our small little world, that was like
Huge.
a wealth of knowledge every day.
Yeah,
And it gave people something to find and cling onto and know, like a place every day they could go to for answers. Not just one video I posted 8 months ago, but Ben's live and you
yeah,
can chat him right now.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's something we don't have
No, we
yet
don't.
anymore.
Yeah,
People that are willing to go set up a live feed at events, that's so cool and so hard to do.
absolutely. If I remember, um, Randy and Louie did that way back. They called it Orion or something like
Oh
that.
my God, I
Do you
barely
remember that?
remember that. Yeah. That
They
happened for
were
like what, 2 episodes?
maybe, yeah, they were the originators, I feel, of the live stream. That's incredible.
Was it
Um,
at the Razors warehouse? Where were they
oh
doing that at?
man, I don't know. It was not my time. I had to
Was
Google
Blade
it.
Cup?
It was probably Blade Cup.
God, I
Um,
can't remember. I can't believe you remember that.
well, I mean, again, it was something that Ben remembered and brought up on the podcast, and I wrote it down. And there's a link if you do a search for Orion on the backtoblading.com,
Wow.
you'll find it. Um, Stuff like that, man. Love the live streams. I love, again, it's just the community, and it, we don't have to dwell any longer. But the stuff that you're doing with Jumbo, I feel I wouldn't want to see that live streamed. I think it needs some
No,
curation because it
it
is too
does.
lengthy.
Oh, we'll get
But
canceled.
yeah, yeah. Well, there's that too. Um, Maybe for the Patreon.
Yeah.
Um,
Dude.
but there's something amazing that you've tapped into that gives people an opportunity to be part of something. And that, I speak with a lot of rollerbladers who are all, we're a very special group. The fact that you're doing this weird sport that you can't even find anybody participating, let alone find replacement parts in your city, is crazy. That there is a community with agreed upon rules and trick names and heroes and history, it's incredible. And oops, something just fell. And I think what you're doing is great. I hope that you continue doing it. Um, what what is the future of Jumbo? So now that you've done Winter Clash, Frankie's event, uh, Blading Cup,
I did Carriers
uh,
Open. We did this
Carriers
Oklahoma
Open,
one too.
you've done a lot of
Um,
events.
yeah, I'm gonna keep going. I want to do, like, I was thinking about doing Crowder
Mm-hmm.
because I haven't done that and it's in the States. And then I was thinking about obviously doing Metro because that's the big one. I
Mm-hmm.
also really, really support Billy O'Neill and anything he
Yeah.
wants to do in skating. I think it's important.
Yeah.
So if I can go up there and do anything to like make sure people know that that event exists, if they don't already know, that's good. And then if I love going overseas at least once a year, let's give it a go. Let's
Yeah.
try.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And that's just an idea. I don't know. So the future, you just started talking about events.
Yeah.
My future is I've got the skeleton for Jumbo. I know how it works now. I
Mm-hmm.
know what I like. I know what I'm going to do. If I can just upskill a little bit, just by 5% even, and learn like how do I clean this up? How do I make my text not look so lame? Like,
Mm-hmm.
how do I make the Jumbo logo 3D and spin around? I posted
Mm-hmm.
that the other day. I don't know how to do this, and I'm just doing it alone.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Figure out how to clean it up, maybe breathe out, like bring in some fresh new ideas, like different kinds of content, which I have uh, here soon. I've got an
Mm-hmm.
idea. That's it. Like just keep the party going, just incrementally better, stay growing,
Mm-hmm.
try and maybe be a little ahead of the curve on some trends if you can spot them. But I think, yeah, we're in a dead zone for a couple of years, but things are going to change.
You're not going to run out of spots out there. That's for sure. There's
They
plenty of
keep
spots in
building.
Austin. Yeah.
Because like, so some places never build and they have like historical like parts of town and like they have their
Sure.
community. They don't want it to
Yeah.
change.
Yeah. Yeah.
Austin is here for the money. And if
Yeah.
they can buy a lot and tear it down and build something new, they're gonna do it, which is awful for like if you like the city the way it is.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not that awful if you're looking for new stuff to skate. So I will say that's like the benefit is we always got somewhere new to try.
It's amazing. I need to get out there. When's the best time to visit? Not summer, not
No,
January.
no, Lord, no. Mid February to end of February to right before June. That's like, and you just missed a great time. Like
Sure.
right after summer, like September, it's still a little hot, all the way up to Christmas is great too. 6 months out of the year, it's doable.
Hmm.
But those other 6 months, like it's just a heat wasteland. Like
Yeah.
no one can survive. You brought like all the standard boys out here like after it was too late. It was only June. And
Yeah.
they were like just
Boiling.
yeah,
Yeah.
no amount of AC can fix that.
Yeah. I
So
think Yandriel was okay because he's got that Miami blood in him.
yeah.
But Stefan and Brian were like, this is wild. I remember
Yeah.
Brian coming out to film in Raleigh, in my area in Durham. And he had this jacket on that had like this silver like lining, like you get emergency blankets,
Hmm.
and you put them down. Like his jacket was like that, and I'm like, yo, like you're ready. It's not going to be that cold here. And he's like, this is just the way it is in Detroit. Like you got to be ready for anything. It's the complete opposite in Austin. Like you can only strip down so low.
Yeah, there's no jacket that's going to save you in the heat. Like there's nothing you can do, man. That's why we take a break every summer from like, June to August. I'm like, no, I can't do it. No one can do it. We tried. The camera was like going off because it
Yes,
couldn't survive the heat. So you just can't do it.
I've had
I
overheating cameras as well. It's frustrating.
getting out of the plane. If you come visit here in like July and you just get off the plane and you feel that warm, wet hug of just you can't escape. Like I think that every time I spend a week or two away from home and I come back, I'm like, oh my God, why do I live here? Well, you don't get to pick what you love.
Amen.
So yeah, come visit, man. You're
I
always welcome.
will. No, I will.
Austin's the best place.
It'll probably be fall. I have been to Dallas. I've been to Fort Worth.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Sorry, Dallas.
Yeah. No, it's fair. I've been to Richardson, which is the tech area.
Still Dallas.
Yeah, still Dallas. So just that pocket. I think I went to Irving. Where was Eisenberg's?
Still Dallas.
Is that Dallas?
It was in Plano.
Plano.
So to everyone that's never been to Texas, he's just describing
a metro,
the little
right?
cities around Dallas.
Yeah,
Fort Worth is a little farther. Whatever, it's all the same thing. If you make it up that way, you're just in Dallas.
Yeah.
So you've been to Dallas, which is great.
Yeah. You are 2 hours north of there.
2 hours south.
2 hours south.
We're in the middle. We're like in the central.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
We're in the desert, so sort of.
Yeah, we'll have to get out there. I did fly through Austin on the way home from Blading Cup. Actually, I was on the flight with Kraft, which was kind of nice.
That's awesome.
The first time I've been able to sit down and chat with him. He and I, we got there super early, like good boys, and we were wearing our masks like good boys. And we just walked the terminal in Orange County for 40 minutes or so, just talking. It was really, really nice. He's a good dude. You have some good people out there.
Yeah, he's a good dude. What do you want to do here? What are you coming here for? What do you want to do?
I just always want to see things. Like I've always had the ambition, kind of like you. I'm in a weird state with my Back to Blading channel where I accomplished what I wanted to accomplish. I wanted to build a few things. Like I jump from project to project fairly regularly, but I wanted to build a channel that documented my return to rollerblading and proved that even if you're 40, you could skate and progress and have a great time. I've gotten to a point now with my time and responsibilities that I have less opportunities to go out and skate than I would like. Add to that, I've had injuries that keep me from skating the way that I want to skate and keep me from pushing myself to do what I want to do on skates. And it's a self-preservation thing. It's not I can't do it, I can't skate through the pain. It's I need to get up in the morning and get my kid to a school and work. And it's hard to do that with, a seized back, right? Or, a messed up wrist or something like that. there are not many things that I want to accomplish anymore with the Back to Blading channel, but I do acknowledge that I've built, 20,000 or so subscribers, a fairly good following of people who still want to see the stuff that I'm interested in, but I'm unable to physically perform at that level that I feel like I should to put together a skate video, which was my bread and butter, like the weekly skate videos, me progressing and things like that. I can't do that anymore. I don't have the time or uh, the physical ability to do that. But I think that there is still merit in putting together videos of skating on the channel. I think that there are people, we talked a little bit about discoverability. I think there are people who subscribe who would love to see what my friends in Austin are up to, or what my friends in San Jose are up to, or what my friends at the compound are up to. And I would love to do videos where I am not the focal point. I want to do videos where I am, and why I'm so inspired by your work with Jumbo. I am part of the session. I am not the leader of the session, of the session of which it could 90% of the time just be me.
Yeah.
And I want to take people on that tour. I want to show people local skate shops. I want to show people skate parks that they could go to in the area. I want to show local crews. Um, I want to keep rollerblading in people's minds because I think it's easy to get back into blading. It's hard to keep motivated to stay in blading, especially as you live more and more online. You don't necessarily have that crew that's going to motivate you to come out to a Thursday night skate or, the Sunday session like y'all have or whenever. So I would love to do more like that. And that requires traveling outside of my region. You know, they've seen everything there is to see here in North Carolina, at least my area of North Carolina. I need to go elsewhere. And Florida's on my list. New York is on my list. Arizona's on my list. California's on my list. And, Austin is on my list. Chicago's on my list.
Cool.
Pacific Northwest. Like all of those places I would love to travel and just get out there and do videos about what I've found. I don't know if it's ever going to happen, but I I love your content, and I think if Cody's doing it, it sets like it can be done, you know,
Hmm.
and that's what I want to do. Like I think I have uh, a channel that allows for exposure, and the more that I can create content that shows blading the way that I love it and can express my love for blading, um, I think more people can see it. And
Yeah.
end of the day, that's what helps people stay blading and get more into it.
If you're showing people something that you love, the way
Mm.
that you love it, more than likely you're not the only person that loves it that way. Secondly, there are other people out there that may not know that they love something like that until you show it to them.
Mm.
So don't quit. Grind into the future.
There you
Like
go.
just sit there and just stare into the future and go, oh man, but don't quit. I know you've done everything at Back to Blading, but I like that you're going to pivot. And let
Yeah.
me know. Let me know when you go to Miami. That's my other favorite place in the states.
Miami.
So I'll
Would
go.
love to. Well,
I'm crazy.
we'll
I'll go.
we'll have to hit Orlando, and we'll do Disney for a minute.
Yeah. Yeah.
We'll skate local. I mean, there's so many great skaters in that area. Great parks too. Definitely another one of those. Don't go in June, July, August. But we'll.
Oh, I can go anywhere at any time.
You can
I
go
just can't
anywhere. I'm
film.
the old one. Yeah, I ain't skating,
Yeah.
and I mean, I have that rule. It also works in the heat. I don't skate if the temperature is lower than my age.
Hmm.
And I'm 48 now. Shit, 40. Yeah, 48 now. 49 this year. Um, it's harder and harder for me to skate, man. Like I got to
Yeah.
find my window of opportunity. Um, It works in the opposite too. If it's over 100 degrees, hell no, man. Like my camera shuts down, I shut down. I drink already a lot of water. There's not
You
enough
got to start at
water.
6 a.m. When we do skate, we wake up at 6 a.m. and
It's
we're done by 9.
that's. I mean, I, God. So my dream here with balance, standard, this whole thing, and I published this a long time ago, and I've kind of made a first step towards it. My dream here is to be able to make enough money to justify a legit warehouse, 3,000 square feet or so, that I can build an actual indoor skate park. So I have a mini ramp here that we can skate as a little grind box. If you go, the long way on the mini ramp, use the
Oh,
flat
I
bottom as your
watch.
flat.
I see you do it.
It is perfect for me. I would love nothing more than to recreate, what Clark has at the compound, but in an indoor environment, so that I don't have to worry about this temperature issue. We could skate year round. I could have people over. Like, I've got this beautiful list of products that people can try out. I need a spot for them to try it.
The
And
kind of content you could make in your own private, like closed in, like
absolutely,
warehouse is insane.
absolutely, yeah, yeah,
Oh, I
yeah.
would love that.
That is the dream. So it's going to happen eventually. And when it does, I will make sure that y'all come out and celebrate
Cool.
the grand opening.
That'd be fun. That'd be fun. I already have an idea for what I'll do at that magical future place. So that's cool.
Yeah, the dream.